Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I am Mrs. Alia Jadun from Army Public School and College Fort Road, Rawalpindi. I welcome FSC Part 2 Physics students in this online sport program 2020. This is 4th week of OSP session. We are going to start chapter number 20, that is nuclear physics. This is the first lecture from this chapter, and the topics which we are going to cover today are atomic nucleus, isotopes, and mass spectrograph. These topics are given on the page number 379 to 383 of your physics textbook. After careful watching of this video, students, you will be able to understand the qualitative treatment of Rutherford's scattering experiment and the evidence it provides for the existence and small size of nucleus. You will also be able to distinguish between the nucleon number and atomic number. You can further extend your learning to understand that an element can exist in various isotopic forms, each with a different number of neutrons. Further, you will understand the use of mass spectrograph to demonstrate the existence of isotopes and to measure their relative abundance. The atomic model of matter is now so firmly embedded in our thinking that it is very hard to realize that it was not fully accepted until the early years of 19th century. The first scientific approach towards the structure of matter was made by Dalton. He proposed an atomic theory of matter according to which all the elements consist of small divisible and indestructible particles. These particles were later on called atoms. By the early 1900s, scientists were able to break apart the atom into particles that they called the electron and nucleus. Central dense part of the atom was called nucleus, and it was having a positive charge on it. It is surrounded by orbiting electrons in various shells. Soon after the discovery of electron and proton in an atom, the question started to find the way in which these charged particles are bound inside an atom. Now, Ernest Rutherford, which initially proposed the nuclear model of the atom, and according to which an atom is comprising of a small dense positively charged nucleus with negatively charged particles called electrons circulating around it. Lately, in 1920, Rutherford suggested on the basis of his alpha scattering experiment that there is probably another particle within the nucleus, which is neutron 1, to which he gave the name neutron. Another scientist, James Chadwick, discovered neutron in 1932. In this chapter, we are going to study the phenomena of an isolated nuclei of atom, and the branch of physics which we are going to discuss in chapter 20 is nuclear physics. In this branch of physics, we study about the nucleus and the various phenomena which are associated with it. Now we know that everything around us is composed of atom. These tiny building blocks of matter make up everything around us. If we could zoom in far enough, we would see the atoms themselves are made up of even tinier components which we call subatomic particles. Now, if we look at the model of atom, we know that at the center of each and every atom, there is extremely small center present which we call nucleus. The entire positive charge of atom and 99.9% of its mass is concentrated in the nucleus. The radius of atom is 10 to the power 5 times greater than the radius of the nucleus. Now, protons and neutrons together are called nucleons. Proton has a positive charge. It is equal to 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 19 coulomb. It is equal in magnitude to the charge on an electron, and mass of proton is equal to 1.673 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Neutron has no charge on the other hand. It is neutral particle, and mass of neutron is equal to 1.675 into 10 to the power minus 27 kg. Proton and neutron have nearly the same masses. The charge on proton is positive while that of an electron is negative. And as we all know that atom is electrically neutral, therefore we conclude that number of protons which are present inside the nucleus is equal to the number of the electrons outside the nucleus. The number of protons in a nucleus are represented by Z, while the number of neutrons are represented by N. So the total number of nucleons inside the nucleus will be equal to Z plus N, and we will call this mass number, and it will be represented by A. So A is equal to Z plus N. Now at that time, when the science was advancing and the new elements were being discovered, one problem which at that time was arising, that how to measure the masses of the atoms of these elements, because the atoms are so small that scientists at that time cannot use the everyday units like gram or kilogram to quantify the masses of these particles. That is why they developed a unit which is known as Unified Atomic Mass Unit, which allowed them to think about the mass on the atomic or the molecular scale. This unit is also known as Dalton, and it is defined as the 1/12 mass of an unbound neutral atom of C12 in its nuclear and electronic ground state and at rest. Now here a question may comes in your mind that why carbon is being selected as a reference element. The reason of this selection is that carbon is an element which can easily combine with the other elements to make the compounds. Further, carbon is present in abundance in nature, that is, it is easily available. One more important characteristic of carbon is that it is very good in chemical reactions. It is neither most reactive nor it is least reactive. And further, carbon is not having much of its isotopes. In fact, the mostly or the easily available isotope of the carbon is only C612. The other are very rare. 1 atomic mass unit is equal to mass of C12 carbon atoms divided by 12. We can also say that 1 atomic mass unit is equal to 1 over Avogadro's number. So 1 atomic mass unit is equal to 1.66 into 10 raised by minus 24 gram, or it is equal to 1.66 into 10 raised by minus 27 kg. The mass of the proton in this unit is 1.007276 unified mass unit, and mass of the neutron is equal to 1.008665 unified mass unit. We know that atoms with different number of the protons in their nuclei are different elements. The same is not true when it comes to the neutrons. Atoms of the same element can contain different number of the neutrons in their nuclei and still retain their identity. Such atoms are known as isotopes, and a single element can have many different isotopes. Isotopes are the nuclei of an element which has same charge number but different mass number. The word isotope is derived from the Greek word iso means same and tope means place. The isotopes of a given element always contains the same number of the protons, and therefore they occupy the same place on the periodic table. However, because isotopes contain different number of the neutrons, each isotope has a unique atomic mass. You can see on your screen some of the examples of the isotopes of different elements. Hydrogen has 3 isotopes, helium has 2 isotopes. You can see the isotopes of carbon, lithium, chlorine, and so on. The chemical properties of all the isotopes of an element are similar because the chemical properties of an element depend on the number of the electrons around the nucleus. Isotopes of an element have the same number of the electrons and the same number of protons. So it is not possible to separate the isotopes of an element by the chemical methods. Physical methods such as mass spectrograph are used to separate the isotopes. A mass spectrograph is a device which separates not only the isotopes of an element, but it also determines the masses of the isotopes accurately. Now, its working principle is that it uses electric and magnetic field to sort out the isotopes according to their masses. It consists of a vacuum chamber, an ion source, two slits which are connected to the positive and negative terminals of the voltage source, a detector which is used to detect the ions, a magnetic field B which is applied perpendicular to the vacuum chamber and out of the paper. The working of a spectrograph is shown in the figure. During its operation, a positive ion from the ion source is allowed to pass through the slits, as you can see in the screen. If V is the applied voltage and E is the charge on an electron, then the work done on the ion for entering into this chamber is given by half mv square is equal to electron volt. These ions are then subjected to a perpendicular and a uniform magnetic field in a vacuum chamber where they are deflected in semicircular paths towards a detector. Now this detector will start recording the number of the ions arrived per second, and the centripetal force which is applied by the magnetic field is given by FB is equal to FC, that is BeV, that is magnetic force, is equal to centripetal force mv square by r. From here we can conclude that m is equal to BER divided by V. Now from the expression 21.2 from the previous slide, you can derive the value of the velocity V, and then putting this value of velocity V in expression 21.3 which is given in the previous slide, we can come up with the value of m, that is equal to ER square by 2V multiplied by B square. So this equation shows that mass of each ion on reaching the detector is proportional to B square. By adjusting the value of B and keeping the other terms constant, ions of different masses are allowed to enter the detector. Now let us quickly recap the topic. The combined number of all protons and neutrons is known as mass number, and it is denoted by A. The protons and neutrons present in the nucleus are called nucleons. The number of neutrons present in the nucleus is called as neutron number, and it is denoted by capital N. The number of protons inside the nucleus or the number of electrons outside of the nucleus is called atomic number or the charge number of an atom, and it is denoted by Z. Isotopes are such nuclei of an element that have the same charge number but they are having different mass number. Mass spectrograph is a device which separates the isotopes and it determines the masses of the isotopes accurately. Stay blessed. Take care. Allah Hafiz.